Imagine a film that's hailed as one of the greatest ever made, yet it's steeped in racism and outdated views that make it hard to stomach today. Welcome to the divisive world of Gone with the Wind. This epic adaptation of Margaret Mitchell's novel isn't just a movie. It's a cultural lightning rod that forces us to confront America's ugly past. But here's where it gets controversial. Should we stream it on platforms like HBO Max with warnings, or bury it forever? Stick around, and let's unpack why this classic is as much a mirror to our society as it is a tough watch. David O. Selznick's ambitious production of Gone with the Wind holds the record as the highest-grossing film when adjusted for inflation, making it a towering figure in cinema history. It's iconic for its wild energy and sheer entertainment value, but it's also blatantly racist, earning rightful criticism. And this is the part most people miss. Dismissing it outright as bad art ignores the massive footprint it's left on American culture. Film experts and critics have wrestled with it for generations, debating its place in our collective memory. Take me, for instance. I'm 52 now, and I've seen the film transformed from a beloved must-watch to something that demands content warnings before airing or streaming, as HBO Max learned when it briefly removed it amid backlash. Back in 2007, the American Film Institute ranked it 6th among the greatest American movies. Today, I'd bet it wouldn't crack the top 100 in a new poll. My perspective on the film has shifted over time. Early on, I focused on why this Confederate perspective story endured, brushing aside its glaring issues because I thought that debate was over. Plus, I gave props to Selznick for toning down the Ku Klux Klan elements from Mitchell's book, though, in hindsight, that's a pretty low bar for enlightenment. I don't need to revisit Gone with the Wind anymore. I've watched it multiple times. But I back HBO Max's choice to stream it with an intro for good reasons. It reminds us of where we've been, and it sparks necessary conversations. First off, Gone with the Wind is a jaw-dropping feat of filmmaking that showcases the industry's heyday. Published in 1936, Mitchell's novel became a phenomenon, with readers fantasizing about its movie version even before casting began. Newspapers ran polls for who should play the fiery Scarlett O'Hara or the roguish Rhett Butler, building hype like a modern fan campaign. Selznick insisted on Clark Gable for Rhett, turning Scarlett's role into a big spectacle that gave people a personal investment. Released on December 15, 1939, the film's roadshow strategy, premiering in major cities at higher ticket prices, meant most Americans waited nearly 2 years to see it in theaters. By then, the buzz was electric, and the movie often surpassed expectations, proving how anticipation can amplify greatness. Selznick was a perfectionist who poured resources into adapting the epic novel. He partnered with MGM to land Gable, replaced director George Cukor mid-production, and pushed Victor Fleming to the brink, leading to Fleming's brief departure due to stress. Fun fact: production designer William Cameron Menzies ended up shaping much of the film's visual style more than the director's. Selznick tied it all together with a focus on brisk pacing over artistic flourishes, making the film feel like a whirlwind. To beginners, think of it as a masterclass in spectacle, rough around the edges in editing, but so engaging it flies by, blending drama, romance, and historical sweep in a way that captivated audiences back then. Now, why bother watching Gone with the Wind in 2025? For decades, we clung to the idea that it was an undeniable classic, silencing critiques of its slavery portrayals by pointing to Hattie McDaniel's Oscar win for Best Supporting Actress as Mammy, the first for a black performer. But the film's depiction of Reconstruction as a personal struggle for Scarlett, played brilliantly by Vivien Leigh, rather than a brutal oppression of newly freed slaves, is not just inaccurate. It's deeply offensive. Leigh's magnetic performance as the selfish, manipulative Scarlett almost makes us forget her flaws, and the infamous marital rape scene? That's a whole other layer of horror. The movie glosses over atrocities, yet it's actually a toned-down version of Mitchell's even more racist book. Unlike D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation, which openly promoted white supremacy, Gone with the Wind doesn't preach hate. It's a snapshot of 1939's progress, bizarrely celebrated through the civil rights era, even after tragedies like the murders of civil rights workers, Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner, the Birmingham church bombing that killed 4 girls. and the assassinations of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. As a pivotal part of our cultural heritage, we can't ignore it. Pretending our society has fully evolved only lets old prejudices resurface in new ways. What do you think? Is streaming Gone with the Wind, with warnings, a way to learn from history? Or does it just normalize harmful content? Should we embrace films like this for their artistry despite the flaws, or retire them for good? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree that reckoning with such classics is key, or is this just glorifying the past?